Good morning, dear students. So, we are today discussing on, we are discussing on a generic parser, and we'll discuss about, testing, how we can do testing on Hadoop environment. So, Hadoop comes with a few helper classes for making it easier to run jobs from a command line. So one among them is a generic option parser. It's actually a class that interprets common Hadoop command line options and set the configuration objects for the application what we are desired for. And so here is a small example you can see. Normally, general format we have. So tool runner which uses the generic parser, and of course it is actually an interface tool that extends the configurable object, configurable class. Okay, right. So that is about a thing. And remember one very important thing: you don't usually use generic option parser directly. So as it is more convenient to implement the tool interface and run your application with the tool runner, which uses generic option parser internally. So that's the concept here. And when you start implementing this tool for printing the keys and values for the properties that are there in configuration object, so what you have to do is first you have to you have to add them to the resource like the configuration files. In the last class we discussed about the configuration files, and the configuration files are XML files. We generally import them, we put them into default resources, and once it is done, so using the run method, so certainly we can get those configuration details, and we can print each get key and get value. So that will be taken for all these configuration details. Meanwhile, in your main program, observe that you are creating a tool runner, which is a object that is required in order to execute your configuration print. So, and remember, very important, this configuration print class, it is extended by your configured. So it is extended by your configure, which implements the tool class. So that's why inside the tool class you have tool runner, and using that tool runner dot run, you are running this. And remember all these things very carefully. And observe, this is a static block. This is a static block, so that doesn't have any label. So certainly we can have such things. So we can make a configuration printer a class of configured, which is an implementation of the configured configurable interface. All implementation of the tool need to implement configurable and subclass configured is often easiest way to achieve this. To run the run method, obtain the configuration using configurable get config so method, and then interacts over it, printing each property to standard output. The static block make sure that the HDFS and MapReduce configurations are picked up in addition to the core ones. And of course, configuration printers main method does not invoke its own run method directly. Instead, we call tool runners a static run method. So which makes sure It takes care of creating a configuration object for the tool before calling its run method. And of course, tool runner also uses generic option parser to pick up any standard options specified on the command line and set them on a configuration instance. So we can see the effect of this picking the properties that have been specified by con that is available in Hadoop localhost .xml by running the following command. And of course, certainly uh, we will perform unit test. Certainly we will perform unit test. Unit test is totally based on the MapReduce function. So in MapReduce, I think we have already seen it is the programming model for processing big data. So when we do MapReduce are very easy to test in isolation, which is a consequence of their functional style. For example, if you know the inputs, and you can certainly they will produce the outputs. However, once the outputs are returned to the context rather than simply being returned from the method call, the context needs to be replaced with a mock test or mock trial run, so that there are several Java mock objects. Certainly, they are created in the framework that can help to build various mocks. So here we use mockit O. O indicates it is an object. So here, what we see mockit O. So I think I was just talking about this mockit O, where the O indicates it's an object, which is noted for the its clean syntax. Although any mock framework should work just as well. All the tests described here will run on the IDE, within the IDE itself. So certainly we can experience all these tests. Of course, they are all unit tests that we are performing. And moving further, here is a small example of a unit test, how exactly we have seen the temperature map reducer, mapper, exactly. Of course, mapper will do a separate test, and for reducer, we'll do a separate test. So we'll import static.org mockit.io .mockit.io.star. We'll import this, and JUnit, I think Java unit, for it is mainly used for Java unit testing. So that is being imported, and of course we write the annotation test here, so that we give the information to the compiler, that Java compiler that we are doing the testing. And of course, the rest of the things are being run. And of course, here we are just taking the method called verify, very important thing. So the entire code, whatever the entire code that you are writing here, this entire code will result some output. It will result some output, and you are giving some output. So whatever the output you are giving and whatever the output that it has got, both should match. If it match, your testing is right. So that's what unit testing is all about. So here you are giving some value. Here you are writing some value -11, sorry. And it has to perform all these things. So that's about the mapper unit testing. Once this mapper unit testing is done, of course, you can certainly see it passes the weather record as an input to the mapper, then checks the output is year and the temperature reading. The input key is ignored by the mapper, so we can pass in anything, including the null, as we do here. So in our mock context, so mock it IO, so the mock method certainly passing the class of the type that we want to mock. Then we invoke the mapper's map method, which executes the code being tested. Finally, the very important concept, we verify. See, this is very, very important. We verify the mock object was called by a correct method and the arguments that are being passed to verify this verify method. Here, we verify that the context right method was called with a text presenting the year 1950 with minus 1.1 degree centigrade. So proceeding test driven fashion, we create the mapper implementation that passes the test. Since we will be involving the classes in this particular chapter, so each is put in a different package indicating it's a different version of the exposition. And of course certainly we can perform all these testing components like this. See, the first version, normally when we take up the first version of a mapper that passes the maximum temperature test, and of course here we certainly give mapper with long writable text as input, and so text and int writable or your output. So output whatever we get. So these of course when we write the same thing, so we extract the particular substrings, and we'll find the line, we'll find the year and temperature. Look at here, we are finding the year, here we are finding the temperature. Same thing, we are writing context.write, so we are writing it as year, we are writing it as temperature. So this is a very simple implementation which pulls the year and the temperature field from the line that we certainly get it to the context. And of course the other values, the missing values in the raw data are represented by 999. I think we have already seen. So normally we write 999 just to indicate it is infinity, just to indicates it is infinity components. We just write it. And of course so the same thing, if you want to run it on multiple systems, on a cluster, you want to run it on a cluster based systems, so we don't need to make it make any modification to the program to run on a cluster. Rather than we have to understand, so the testing what we did is on a single machine, and the same program, if you want to do it on a clustering cluster of computers, clustering testing, when we want to do, so we need to package the program as a jar file and send it to the cluster, where in the cluster what happens, your name node will certainly take. And of course this is conveniently achieved by using Apache Ant. There is a cluster management tool called Apache Ant, using a task such as, you can see, certainly you can describe this line in that particular code. So jar destination file is Hadoop examples.jar, which is having a base class, so you can specify the class here. And of course once this is done, it is, so your cluster can easily run the program very efficiently and test the program and run the program efficiently. So if you are running a single job per jar, then you specify the main class of the jar files in the manifest file. So this has to be specified in the manifest file. I think by this time you might have learned from your advanced Java what is a manifest file. Manifest file is actually the file which contains the metadata about the entire jar file. So the same jar file we are using here. And if the main class is not in the manifest file, then it must be specified on the command line. At least you can specify in the command line so that any dependent jar files should be packaged in a lib subdirectory that is available for this jar file. So that if you do it, and of course if you run it on a cluster, and the same program can be tested and executed on a cluster also. So that is one very important thing that you should understand. And finally, how to launch the job. So we have done clustering. We had tested, unit tested on a single machine. We have how to run the same thing on a cluster machine. We have done. Now, how to launch the entire thing? So only thing that you have to do is you have to work on this conf option. So to launch the job, we need to run the driver specifying the cluster that we want to run the job with the -conf option. If you use -conf option, certainly your job can be launched. And we could equally do it using -fs, certainly we do it, and -jt. So Java testing, JT is for Java testing. And of course, the command looks very similar to like this. Hadoop jar, Hadoop example.jar, which is v3 max temperature driver, -conf. This is very, very important. So the configuration details are available in conf Hadoop cluster.xml, and that input data you are taking from National Center for National Climatic Data Center. We are taking data. So from all the max temperature you are getting it. So you are getting it. So finally, we will use a method called wait for completion. Wait for completion method on the job launch. Certainly launches the job and polls for a progress. Writing a line summarizing the map and reduce progress whenever it changes. So all these things can be monitored online with the help of what do you call it as the job. What do you call the online, the web interface. So you know very well, Hadoop has both a command line interface as well as web interface. So we can certainly do it with the web interface. We can certainly do it with web interface. Hadoop, how exactly it can be configured. So we'll certainly see that all those concepts in the upcoming sessions. Right. So that's all for today's session. I think I have the last session tomorrow. So tomorrow we'll complete it, and the notes is already available in the web portal. So you can certainly download it. Tomorrow we'll discuss about MapReduce Web UI, Hadoop logs, and remote debugging. That's all for today's class. Thanks for joining today's session. You've been a wonderful audience. The entire class recording is available in this particular website, and also the notes is available on this website. Thanks for joining. Have a wonderful day.